Let me try that again with the mic. Now, unmuted. Welcome, everybody. Curiosity Public Live tonight. Drinking some tequila on a nice Thursday evening here. It's a little toasty outside, but hopefully you're staying cool wherever you are. Hopefully you guys can hear me. As per the usual, I decided to go and mess with all the audio settings and try something new right before I'm about to start a live stream, and so I have no idea if you can even hear me. So hopefully you can. Hopefully this is all working out okay. Maybe next time I'll actually start early enough or won't change anything like at the last second. So, okay. Well, Thursday, I'm here all by myself because nobody else would show up. I also just realized I'm wearing a bourbon shirt on a tequila day here. So, good. You guys can hear me. Awesome. Let me know what you guys are sipping on. Tell me what's going on in your lives. I am currently setting my palate with some tequila. I'm with a very, very expensive tequila here. And one that I'm still struggling to figure out why it's so expensive. This is the Cascoin 11 Bricks. So let's see if we can get a little close up of that guy there. 11 Bricks. I like the label. I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, we recently filmed a review of this. Should be coming out pretty soon, so I won't spoil that. Let's just say I wouldn't spend a lot of money on that bottle. It's not bad at all, don't get me wrong. It's delicious, but it's really expensive. I mean, I think going rate these days is like 300 plus, so yeah, you can buy some other pretty awesome bottles. All right, let's see who's in here. Who is here today? Matthew's in the house. Siyama is here for the drinking. Matthew's trying to figure out what to pour next. Just tried Cascana's number 7 Anejo for the first time, and it was funky. Yeah, Cascana's is funky. The extra Anejo was the only one of them that didn't have that kind of funk to it. And the Anejo is still the old distillery. It's like 15, I can tell you exactly what it is, $15.99. Because we're going to be drinking something from the exact same distillery a little bit later, or I'm going to be drinking it. But the extra añejo, that funk was mostly kind of gone. I think the Blanco, it's pretty heavy in there, that earthiness. Some people love that. I happen to think it's pretty interesting, but it's definitely there. It's a unique flavor profile. Roy's in the house. What's up? Just saw that you got that bottle of tears, and now you can never drink another tequila. Yeah, it's something special. You know, it's really an exploration into what a barrel can do to an agave distillate, and it's fascinating for that. But it's not everybody's jam, really. You know, there's some people that are Blanco purists, and I feel like a lot of whiskey people, they'll get into things like tears, and then you can kind of work your way back into the Blancos because there's still a good agave core in tears, and I think it retains that core, which is so impressive to me, even with all the finishes of other barrels and things like that. So glad you're enjoying that one. Hattori Hanzo's in the house. Here I am missing the whole theme with a bottle of Stag Junior, breaking out the mezcal now to be in the area code. Oh man, David M says toasty in Orlando, sipping on Russell's 13. Man, for some reason Russell's 13 does not feel like a warm weather bourbon to me. That's like cold weather bourbon for me. But you know, hey, different people have different reactions to that. I actually love tequila when it's hot. And I guess, you know, bourbon with a little piece of ice. And I guess with the Russells, you know, you're at a high enough proof where you could put a little bit of ice in there and you wouldn't lose too much. So hopefully you're staying cool. Jeff Perkins in the house. What's up? Siyama's drinking a margarita. Nathaniel's also sipping on some tears. Awesome. Oh, Zito, hope you get well soon. Fighting off a cold. That's smart. Stay sober and get healthy. Sean, what up, Dutch? Sipping on some Highland Park 15. Excellent. Is that the new version or the old version? Curious. And actually, I think with the new one, they had the ceramic bottles, but I think I saw where like they're ditching the ceramic bottles now, and they're going to have like a regular glass bottle for the 15. So I don't know if that was like a limited time thing. I don't know if there's going to be a flavor profile change again with it, but let me know if any of you guys have seen that. Marvin's here, made it on time. All right, man. Kagan C says, Sup Dutch, doing a dry week, but cracking open my Eureka pick of Russell's on Sunday. Nice. Yeah, I'm actually just getting off of like 2 weeks drive pretty much here. Just kind of happened that way. Fluffles just got home from Costco, had to buy a cat litter and drink peach pear sparkling water. All right, there you go. Stan says, love me some tequila. Awesome, glad you're here. Okay, let me see here, scrolling down a bit. All right, David is in the house. What's up to you? Cheers back at you. All right. When are you guys doing a tequila single barrel pick? Oh man, I don't know. That'd be pretty fun though. Big Sour, a Sig Sour. Wow, I can't read. Makes more sense now, Sig Sour. Got my first stag this month, MSRP, 132 proof, so good. Yeah, man, you know, getting that bottle at MSRP is just fantastic, but overpaying for it just doesn't, it doesn't do it for me at that price range. Okay, so let me talk a little bit about what I got going on here tonight. So if you missed the very beginning, I've been warming up here on a little bit of the Cascahuin 11 bricks, which is a Blanco, special release Blanco that is just raved about by a lot of people. We do have a review coming out of it, coming out on it, as I said at the beginning of the show. So I won't spoil that review, other than to say if you're contemplating spending $300 on a Blanco, I wouldn't do it on that. That's just me. Very good tequila though, don't get me wrong. Let me kill that off so I can talk to you guys properly about what we're going to be drinking, what I'm going to be drinking. I'm already having trouble talking, so it's just going to get worse. Get ready. Get ready for it to get worse. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go in order tonight. I've got 3 tequilas here. I'm kind of an idiot, I just realized, because I don't really have a repo. I was like, I could just go in order, but that's not really going to work. I'm still going to go in order. Start with the Blanco. This is the PM Spirits. If you guys, whiskey fans out there, remember PM releasing their very famous bourbon back in the day. They kind of blew everybody away. It was like an amazing MGP blend. And they have sourced some apparently very good tequila. This is NOM 1468. It does say 100%, 100% agave, 0 additives. It does say it on the labeling. And PM Spirits, pretty good, reputation, I think. So yeah, this looks really interesting to me. It has a lot of stats on the back. Average age, 6 years of the agave, 35 bricks average. Has the height, oven, cooking time was 40 hours, copper pot still, 2 distillations, and distilled to 55, proof bottled at 40. Now they also do have a cask strength bottling here. It has like a little red topper there. You can see the difference. And that one is at the, I believe the 55%, yeah, 110. So, maybe crack into that at the end of the night, but I figured we should give their regular one first crack here. So that'll be first. After that, I was thinking in my head, since I have the El Tequileno Repo Rare, that this would be the Repo, but of course, this is really an extra Anejo, which I'll talk about in a second. So the next bottle then will be the Anejo I picked here, which is the Atanasio Anejo, which we alluded to earlier, NOM 1599. This was the same distillery as Cascanes' first run of tequila that they put out. They're now at like 16 something, 1619 or 16 something. Can't remember what the new NOM is for Cascanes, but this is a pretty well regarded brand as well. I'm curious if it'll be just as funky as the Cascanes. Get a little close up there of the bottle. Cool looking bottle. It is additive free certified, as you can see there. It's got some hand written numbers and stuff on there, and price point there, 99 bucks. I did get it a little bit off the sticker price. So able to talk them down a bit. But yeah, you have a bottle number and a batch number. This is batch A001/20 and bottle number 1062. So it'll be my first time trying Atanasio. And the final bottle then will be the El Tequileno Reposado Rare. So as you heard me mention, this is really an extra añejo, but it is labeled, as you can see, as a Reposado Rare. That is because of the kind of casks that they aged it in. So it's aged, I believe, over 6 years, but because it was a larger cask size, based on the regulations on tequila, you can't label it as an extra añejo. It has to be aged in traditional oak, normal barrels for that. It's obviously not a Blanco, so they had to label it as a Reposado, and it's really bizarre. But I've heard great things about it. This will cost you about 200 bucks. It's pretty pricey, but you're at least getting a 6-year-old tequila here. So should be an interesting one. NOM 1108 on the El Tequileno Reposado Rare. This is series number 9, according to the label. Bottle number 726. And look at that, Wine Enthusiast said it was one of the top spirits of 2022. And, oh, interesting. So it's not on the bottle, but on the little tag, they do have a certified additive-free sticker, which I think we all knew anyway, that El Tequileno is one of those brands that's additive-free. So that's the lineup. I'm going to pour myself some of this PM Spirits Blanco and check back in with you guys in the chat and see what's going on. Thursday here. More people trickling in. I think there's probably some other streams going on tonight. I was trying to get Jules, but he's like, oh, I'm out of town. Dylan, who knows where Dylan is? But I don't think we'll be on a live next week. We might have an on location live next weekend, Friday or, well, yeah, maybe Saturday, maybe Friday. I don't know. We may not, but we will be on location somewhere, possibly filming some. Let's crack into this. The same stopper that was in the bourbon, the glass stopper that I'll never forget when we filmed our review of that. Dylan was trying to pour himself some more and didn't realize that the stopper was still in it. Actually, I mean, I love the way it looks, but I just don't like these. I don't like the metal, the metal on metal, the glass on glass, and just the little rubber seal there, but it looks great. I got to give them credit on that. So there you go. PM Spirits Blanco. Cheers to you guys. Hope you've had a great week so far. Hope you're staying cool if it's hot where you are. It's been hot here. So let me give it a quick nose and then I'll check in with you guys. Oh, it's very earthy. A lot of like the vegetal kind of flavors coming through on the nose. Okay, great. You guys aren't talking much, so I don't have to do anything. I can drink. Tori Hanzo is saying that wine enthusiasts are sort of the most trusting people there is. Not sure about your grammar, but I think I understood what you were trying to say. Let me give this another nose. That's a really funky nose. Yeah, it's like very, almost like grassy and earthy at the same time. Like if you picked like a stalk of something and you were sniffing right by the root and you're getting a little bit of the grassiness from the grass and a little bit of the earth from the soil. Don't know that I love this nose. Not a lot of sweetness on the nose. There's a bit of that minerality. Not my, the agave is kind of overpowered by the earthiness. There's not like a sweet agave core to this. It's all like the earthy side. Interesting. All right, let me give it a taste here. It's really warm. A lot of agave, a lot of Blancos, especially the ones I really like, are very crisp, refreshing. This one is, I mean, it's almost like saltier and like more savory in a way. I'm gonna try to find out the price point on this. I saw that question come up in the chat. Let me see if I can find how much I paid. I want to say it was around 50. Here we go. Price paid, $64.99 for this Blanco. And it is a 700 milliliter, so it's a smaller bottle size. The still strength was, I believe, 70, was it? 75. So, I mean, that's pretty pricey for a Blanco. Let me give another sip here. some pepper, black pepper. Man, it's just really savory. I mean, it makes me want to eat food. It's not bad. It's just not like a refreshing Blanco. So it's kind of on that other end of the spectrum for me. It's the earthiness. It's not overpowering on the palate. The palate's pleasant enough. It's just kind of like thick tasting in some weird way for me. So I'll give it. Let us open up a little bit more. Ben, what's up with you, man? Good to see you here. Hattori Hanzo says we should have done lives from the Korean barbecue shops. Do a soju drink through. Oh man, that would have been good. Am I going to see the new Indiana Jones movie? I mean, eventually. I'm not going to run out to the theater to see it, but you know, when it's streaming, I can watch it from the comfort of my own home, and I can, you know, pour myself a drink to get through it. I don't know. Maybe it'll be great. Who knows? Bernard says, I have the Still Strength from PM Spirits, and it's incredible. David M says, pour the 110. It's much better. David reminds you all to hit the thumbs up. So do all those things. And I guess, you know what? I was going to wait and do this at the end, but maybe just for comparison's sake, I should do it now. Right? That makes sense. You are speaking sense to me, guys. So let's give it a whirl, shall we? So this is the same stats, I believe, same sources of agave and all that, same distillation methods, just bottled at the cask strength or still strength, because it doesn't go into a cask. That's why it's still strength. So yeah, I mean, all the stats are the same. Looks like, although this is 2022-01, this says 2022-02, so maybe a different batch. But all the other stats are the same. And let me put a sticker on this so I don't lose track. Oh, this is not a tequila glass. What the heck is that? That's one of Dylan's, you know, holier than thou glasses. Wow, that was a bad pour. I poured it all over myself. As is usual, right? Okay, so still strength, and wow, it smells great. That's the benefit of spilling it all over myself, is I get really get the aroma. See, it's really just been a technique I've been honing all these years. It's how to actually properly get the nose. So I just spill it all over the place, and then I can really smell it. So yeah, you know, helps if I look at what I'm doing to pour. I should really be better about that. Okay. Let's give it a little twirl. Looks a little bit more like viscous than the other one. Okay, yeah, nose definitely pops more. Wow, so different. That's so crazy. There's a brightness to this now. There's almost a floral component to it. You can just get so much more. Maybe it's because I spilled it all over the counter, but I mean, excellent. Let me give it a sip. Whew, man. There's like cinnamon coming through, pepper. It's a little bit brighter. Touch of bitterness on the finish, but you know, it kind of, there's so many other things going on that it's not off-putting in any way. There's a lot going on with this. Let me give it another sip. Man, there's so many different flavors. There's like a toast, kind of toasted bread kind of component at the end of the finish too. Wow, whoa. So much brighter on the palate. Yeah, that's like a different beast completely. Yeah, Steve, I actually thought the exact same thing. I was like, I should just pour the other one. Maybe that's why I'm getting such a better nose, but yeah, see, I have considered that. And I think, you know, Jules has poured a couple things over the years, and it didn't really go that much better, maybe a little bit. But, you know, Dylan's not going to pour it. And, you know, I don't know that I trust Jules enough with some of these bottles. Yeah, the pour spout, which that's a great idea. It's still sitting over here. So maybe I'll problem is this doesn't fit all the bottles. Like, this is really narrow. I don't know if this would fit in there, but I guess we can try. Okay. Yeah, Dylan's glass for Jose. You'll see it in some upcoming episodes. He just seems to think this is the coolest thing in the world now because, it's Dylan. What are you gonna do? Wow, I can't click on that, but I'm laughing at it. Okay. Here's a serious question. Jose asks, how much should I be spending on Fortaleza Anejo? I have the Blanco and Repo, and they are amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think the Anejo is great. The last time I bought it, I think I spent around $90 a bottle, and I stocked up because I kind of just saw the writing on the wall. You can still find it in the $90 to $100 range sometimes. You got to be at like a grocery store or a local shop that's not going to mark it up, which is harder and harder to find. But some of the chain stores, when they get it, they'll have it priced in that range as well. So me personally, again, this is partly because I've had it many, many times and I have a number of bottles in reserve. I wouldn't spend more than that range, 90 to 100. If you really, really love that flavor profile and you see it, 110 maybe, I could see them justifying that. You got a lot of these premium brands, like the Atanasio we're going to get to, which is, their Anejo is $100. The Cascanes Anejo, I think, is now over $100. So that's kind of where the market's going. It's not going to get any cheaper. And I think the premium brands are going to start pricing their stuff, $100 for the Anejo. And I think that's kind of the new reality of it. Don't like that, but that's what it is. I mean, the demand is so big right now for Fortaleza that there's, it's understandable why it's getting marked up. But it's great tequila. If you've watched our blinds, it didn't win a single one of them though. So, is it worth that price? Hard to say. Hard to say. Okay, Mac Daddy says, damn, I'm late. Drinking a Maker's Cask. Showed my sommelier friend you spilling some expensive drams. Says you need to twist your wrist before lifting the bottle. Andy looked close to crying. Yeah, I spill a little bit from time to time. And it's if it's something really expensive, I'll pick the glass up and I'll pour. But it just looks a little bit better on camera to try to get a little bit of distance there, and you can hear it splashing into the glass and it sounds nice. It's for the ASMR, that's the reason right there. Okay, Eddie's Edits says, I want to get into tequila, but I can't seem to find most of the tequilas on Curiosity Public in Ontario. Yeah, that's a bummer. I was in Toronto last summer at there's a really awesome restaurant. They had a great tequila selection. And I was talking to one of the bartenders there who was super into tequila. And, he was just saying that it's so hard to get some of these brands up there. But they had some good stuff. They had El Tesoro. They did have some El Tequileno. He said that, he's only ever heard of Fortaleza, never seen it up there. So, yeah, I mean, if you can get places to ship to you, that can be an option. I don't know how it works in Ontario, but, or take a trip to the States or to Mexico, and you can find all kinds of stuff. Jose says, thanks, Dutch. In Arizona, it's selling for $200. Yeah, I mean, personally, I wouldn't spend $200 on it. I would, the alternatives, you can go try to find it in a bar and pay, maybe 10 to 20 bucks for a pour, maybe. I don't know how much it's going for in bars anymore, but, give it a try and see if you think it's worth it. Or you can, try what we did, which was when we did the blind, it just, it kind of got buried in there. It wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst, but it kind of fell somewhere in the middle, I think, for us each of the times. But, the one that won our Anejo was Tequila Ocho, which you can find pretty much anywhere, and it's only going to cost you about 50, 60 bucks. So, it's hard on the value. It's hard to justify 200 for me, so. Steve says, any more rum reviews on the horizon? Yeah, we're gonna have some more coming. Trying to think if we filmed any of this last batch of reviews. I don't think we did. We tried to cram in a lot of stuff, but we had a couple of really long drink throughs that we did. So the rum got bumped, I think. So, but I'm gonna make it a point for the next filming time, because I know every time we post a rum review, everybody's like, more rum, more rum. Efren says, tequila pricing pushed me over to whiskey. I love aged tequila more than Blanco. It's great whiskey for great prices. Yep. it's funny because there's a lot of people that are going from bourbon into tequila, but tequila is going through this huge price jump, which for the whiskey drinkers is kind of like, well, whatever, that's normal. That's what's been happening in Scotch, and then it happened in bourbon. Now it's happening in tequila. So, yep. Is Fortaleza going out of business? No, it is. They're definitely not going out of business. They're just doing too much business. They're just selling like hotcakes. And that's the problem, is that, they can only make so much because, they do things the right way. And everybody really wants to buy it. So the question is, do you want them to expand their productivity, potentially sacrificing quality so you can buy it, or they keep doing what they're doing and you can kind of just hunt for it or hope that the prices come down eventually? I don't know. Okay, well, I'm going to move on. A lot of questions here about Fortaleza. I'll get back into that in a second, but I got to pour myself something else. So, and get a little water because it's getting warm in here. I turned the air off so it wouldn't be loud. But so PM Spirits, guys, I'm going to come back to it at the end. Overall, I really like a lot of stuff that they do. It's a little hard for me to justify the price on these, given how there's some amazing Blancos out there. And it may be that my flavor profile for Blanco tends to be on the more crisp side. These are flavor bombs, and they're really good. I think if that sounds appealing to you, that a little more savory, a little bit more on the spice side, a little less sweet, if that sounds really interesting to you, you probably love these. So, there's definitely a market for this kind of tequila. It's certainly delicious, don't get me wrong. Just not necessarily my go-to flavor profile for a Blanco, but I'll come back to them at the end of the show and see if they've opened up or if my palate reacts a little bit differently to them. But we're going to jump now to the next bottle, which is the Atanasio Anejo. So, I'll give you guys another quick look at the bottle there before I crack into it. You can see the price tag there. Pricey bottle. It is confirmed additive free. Here's the back. It's got kind of the cool A emblem on it there. NOM 1599, as you can see. And I don't think I've ever had this before. So this will be a first taste for me. Now, I've had the Cascanes from the same distillery. So I think I need to get another glass. Sorry. It was Dylan's fake glass that threw me off, so, I blame Dylan. All right. Wow. Jeez, that's hard to open. Okay, see, now that spillage was not my fault. This was like crazy synthetic cork business going on here. I don't know if you can see how it's kind of like bulged out. It was really stuck in there pretty good. Smells good. And a very small, like, pour spout. Not a drop spilled, see? Not that bad. I can pull it off every once in a while. Oh man, yeah, that cork is, it's synthetic, so at least shouldn't get stuck. I guess the glue could come off from the top, but nice, kind of a light color. Light golden color to it, not super, super dark, but pretty good dark. Pretty good dark. Pretty dark. Nice viscosity to it. Kind of oily. Nice coating of the glass. And let's check the nose. That's really nice. The citrus component is there. The agave core is there. Oh, I can't place this. It's almost like green tea. Like a citrus green tea. There's a little bit of that earthiness, funkiness buried in there. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit for a second because I think it's gonna open up. Let me check in here with the chat. Yeah, spilling good liquor everywhere is now part of the CP lore. Let's see, when will you do when will we do extra Anejo blind? So we did film it. Last time we got together and filmed, which was like 2 weeks ago. Not quite 2 weeks ago. 2 weekends ago. And I will not tell you what happened. But we did film it, and it just needs to get edited. So look for that in the next month, maybe. Probably, yeah, I'd say by mid-August we should have it out. Just trying to decide what to edit next. So whenever it makes it into the rotation. But yeah, that was a fun one. We did only end up doing 4 of them because we had the same 5 brands through the Blanco, Repo, and Anejo challenge. And then we decided with the extra, we were thinking about, because Fortaleza does not make an extra. So we took the Fortaleza out and we just did it with the remaining brands. So we thought about throwing another one in, but then we just figured, look, we're going to use those brands in future iterations of the series, of the blind series with the tequila. So we figured just do more of them later. So we did keep it as a 4-way blind, and it was very interesting. Siyama says, if you can't find Fortaleza, you can get an El Tesoro for 80 and then grab some dirt. Ben says, would love to see a Fortaleza, geez, Foursquare 2010 review. Yeah, didn't we do a fresh crack of that on a live stream? Maybe it's in the box over here to be opened. So if it is, maybe we'll do that at the end. I thought we did that in a live stream already. Maybe not. I can't remember. We've just done too many damn videos at this point. Hattori Hanzo says, I got a pour of Fortaleza Anejo at a bar in Savannah, Georgia. It was underwhelming to me. I could see that. Ken H says, Fortaleza is crazy. I asked a few stores. They said only able to get a few bottles and sold out super quick. Yeah, that's how it goes these days. There's a chain down here in Southern California. If you're from Southern California, you know Venmo. They would regularly get it, probably like once a month. And you just kind of have to figure out which store got it. And they'd have, I think, usually like 1 or 2 cases. So if you were able to get there, within the first couple of days that they got it, you could get a couple bottles. And I think that was the last time I got it. I went to one of the Bevmo stores. They had just gotten it in. Actually, they had gotten it in, I think, the day before, but it was still sitting on the shelf. And I think I picked up 3 bottles at that time because I was like, I know this stuff is just, I'm probably not going to find it again, basically is what I had going through my head, and I haven't. So, that's the rare occasion where I do tend to hoard things, is if I can kind of see the writing on the wall and I have an opportunity to buy it. So, yeah, it's hard, man. And I hate to say it because I do like that tequila a lot, but it's just not worth paying $200 for a bottle. I understand the 100 where this is priced Atanasio. Speaking of which, let me give it another taste. Let me give it a taste. I only gave it a sniff. Let me give it another sniff. Oh, it's really an interesting nose. Man, what is it? There's something here that's... I said green tea, and it's kind of like that. There's another component. There's the citrus component, but there's like something else, and I can't put my finger on it. It's almost like a cinnamon in there with it, or something like that. It's a spice, I think. Okay, whatever. Anyway, cheers. Atanasio and Anejo. See how it is. Yeah, that's good. Is it a good replacement for Fortaleza? Kind of. I mean, it's more in that wheelhouse than a lot of other Anejos. Yeah, it's almost spicier. Give it a second sip. The words are already stopping. I can't do anything about it, guys. Oh wow, yeah, that's so drinkable. But it has like enough of that spice to make it interesting on every sip. The front hit on the palate is buttery and just rich. The back end is, you get the spice and it lingers on the finish. Everything that's coming through on the finish is really nice. There's not a ton of agave. I mean, the agave here, again, it's more the earthy, it's not as bright. but there's enough really nice sweetness in there to complement the spice. And it's still on the refreshing side compared to the PM Spirits, which was very on the savory side. So it's got the earthiness, it's got a little bit of that bright hit. It's really well-rounded. I mean, it kind of covers a lot of the spectrum. Oh man. Is it better than the Cascanes Anejo? Based on my memory of it, and I haven't had that in a very long time, yes, I think I like this better. My initial reaction is it's better. I would need to try the Anejo again. I know we don't actually have it here on the set. I was realizing that the other day. Dylan has a bottle and he hasn't brought it, and I don't have one here. Yeah, this is really good. Really good. Now, pricey, obviously. Like, this is priced at 99 bucks. Where did the price sticker go? Oh, it must have been on the plastic wrap. Yeah. Yeah, priced at 99. I mean, I'm just going to put it on the bottle so I don't forget. The reason I tend to keep the price stickers is because a lot of times we want to be able to tell people what we paid, but you know, we just go through so many bottles. A lot of times we can't remember. Yeah, this is fantastic. I mean, I don't feel let down at all for paying that much. It's kind of, I feel like the way Cascanes goes. It's like, you know, it's expensive, but you don't feel let down for what you pay. You know, it's kind of like they can justify it. It's really good. I'd much rather pay 50 bucks for this. It'd be a steal. And but damn, this is good. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna leave the rest again. We'll come back to it at the end, and compare, not compare, but just kind of reevaluate everything that I've tasted. So, Atanasio Anejo. Really good stuff. Dr. Oju, who you guys may have seen in some of our videos, we talk about him a lot with tequila stuff, but he was the one that, when I was talking to him about Cascanes, he just kept saying, he's like, man, you got to try Atanasio, because that's like the main product from that distillery, and it's amazing already. Like, don't waste your time with Cascanes. And he likes Cascanes, you know. He's tried some more of them, and he was like, yeah, that's actually really good. But he used to always rave about this stuff, and finally picked it up, and man, he is, as usual, very correct on his tequila stuff. So cheers to Dr. Oju. Appreciate that, man. Okay, last bottle. Man, am I going quickly or something? Like, maybe. Let me check in with the chat. Maybe I need to check in with the chat. I have been just talking too much. Okay, let's see here. Okay, where was I? Neo Blind, Foursquare, yeah, we talked about that. Okay, here we go. Aaron says, I'm mainly into whiskey, and you guys were not wrong about the Arete Repo. Have you had the San Matias Extra Añejo? I love that one as well. I have not had that. Sometimes I need to see what it looks like. Let me Google it. Because I've seen a lot of bottles, or I've tried a lot of bottles, and I don't remember what they're called. San Matias Extra Añejo. Nope, I have not tried that. I have seen that bottle though. It does look familiar. I have not tried it though. So let's keep an eye out for it. Ben says, Fortaleza, honestly pretty common. Fortaleza is honestly pretty common near me. Literally stumbled on a bottle of the Blanco at a store across the street from me. Yeah, the Blanco is pretty easy to find here still in Southern California. And even the Repo shows up pretty regularly, but the Añejo is just, it's gone. It's gone so quickly now. But yeah, the Blancos, a lot of the time it's in stock in a lot of the places. So, all right. Mac Daddy asks, any recommended tequilas with high drinkability? I love tequila, but my friends have bad associations with it because of college. That's always a tough one. I mean, if your friends are into sipping other spirits, like if they sip whiskey, I think there's plenty of things to try. I mean, again, for a whiskey drinker, I would maybe start you on the Añejo, like more barrel influence side, Añejo and extra Añejos. Maybe this one, I haven't tried it yet, but you know, you're paying more there. You could find a cheaper Añejo and see what you think. Drinkability. You know, somebody, I'll get to the comment. I saw somebody comment on the Arete Reposado. That's such a great one to try because it's so cheap. You know, if they don't like it, it's not like you spent very much money on it. And I think it's a great sipper. And I think it's also got enough barrel influence that if somebody tastes it and they're like, wow, I really like that side of it, then they know, okay, this is good, but I need to explore the añejos. If they kind of like the agave fruitiness, then they can kind of go towards the Blanco side. So good question though, high drinkability. Yeah, I don't know. Good question. I'll think about that some more. Siyama, did you use the Paradiso or the Extra? We used the Extra. We did. Mainly because we wanted to include a spectrum of prices, and it's just the cheapest one. So for a lot of people, that's a very accessible Extra Añejo, so we wanted to see how it slotted in. But you ask a good question, because the Paradiso's next level. I think we talked about it in the blind too, so. Yes, exactly. Jose Cuervo needs to apologize for tarnishing tequila for most of us in our youth. Yes. Efren says, do you recommend any cigars? Sure. I mean, depends what you like. All three of us tend to be very partial to Cubans, which, you know, I can recommend them all I want, but they're just hard to get and they've gotten crazy expensive in the past year. And I wouldn't really recommend spending that much on them because it's just too much because they used to be pretty cheap. So I've been exploring a lot of non-Cubans recently and trying to find something that I really like. And I'm still kind of exploring, but can't give you too many recommendations yet on non-Cubans. I've been, I'm still working my way through it. But if you like Cubans, I mean, you know, can't go wrong with the crazy expensive ones, the Cohibas, the Trinidads are great. The Quitorsés are kind of my go-to because they're the cheaper version of that kind of a flavor profile for me. And they're just great. So it's all kinds of stuff though. I mean, it really depends on what kind of things you like. If you like the really big, bold ones, if you like the lighter, creamier things, it's just, there's a lot going on with cigars. We need to start another channel, not on YouTube, because YouTube doesn't like cigars. Okay, moving on. Ramos D, or Ramo SD 87. I bought a bottle of Siete Leguas Decades Blanco today. Looking forward to trying it. Have you tried it before? Yes, we opened that on a live stream, and I can see the bottle right over there. Yeah, it's nice. I thought it was a little too expensive for what it was. The premium Blanco category is just going crazy. You know, I started the show talking a little bit about this guy, the 11 Bricks. It's just another one of those that it's like, yeah, sure, it's good Blanco. I think the Siete Leguas Decades was good. I just didn't understand why it was so expensive. You know, you take the G4 Madera, which is, to me, blows everything out of the water. All the special release Blancos, it blows them out of the water. And it's priced at 70 bucks, you know. And I just was so excited because they just posted on their Instagram. They finished bottling the next batch of it. It's going to be hitting stores very soon, and I'm super excited about that one. That's the one where I am going to be stocking up on it because I can't get enough of it. It's so good. But again, you know, it's about what kind of flavor profiles you like. There's a lot of people that maybe taste the Siete Leguas and they're like, hey, no, that resonates with me better. And, you know, that's the beautiful thing about this is there's something for everybody. Okay. Tori Hanzo says, many live streams ended with Man, you know, I'm just dyslexic enough where this is going to throw me all night is you guys typing Foursquare or Fortaleza, and we've been talking about Fortaleza. So, you know, it starts with the same two letters and it ends with a vowel. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the same word. But yeah, I'm not even going to bother reading that now. Since I'm here, one says I was able to get the Fortaleza cask strength once last year for 80 plus shipping and handling. Yeah, the still strength that's also a little bit more available. The Blanco and the Blanco still strength are probably a little more available, definitely more available than the Anejo. I feel like the Blanco is the most available. The still and the Repo are both somewhat available from time to time. And then you got the Anejo, which is just a ghost at this point. I think I saw a super chat. Let me go click on that. Sorry, guy. Sorry, Ken. I missed that earlier. Thank you very much. Cheers. Love your channel. Sipping Fortaleza Repo. Awesome. Well, cheers to you. Well, I got to pour something so I can do a proper toast with you. But thank you for supporting the channel. Super chats, great way to help support this channel. Really, really appreciate it when you guys do that. And just for that, I'm going to crack into the El Tequileno Reposado Rare. I talked about this at the beginning. It's called a Reposado, but it is aged 6 years. So it is really, I mean, in essence, an extra añejo. But because of the kinds of casks they use, these very large casks for the aging, and I guess in the regulations for tequila, in order to be called an añejo or an extra añejo, it has to be aged in kind of the standard oak barrel. And since this was a non-standard size oak barrel, they were not allowed to put añejo on the label or extra añejo. It's obviously not a Blanco. It has been rested, but since it was not in the right kind of cask, they cannot call it extra añejo, so they call it Reposado Rare. And 200 bucks, expensive bottle. You know, you can see it. I think the lowest I've seen it is like 160. I think I paid 180, maybe 190 for it. Probably could have talked them down a little more, but you know, interesting. It's not even as dark as the Atanasio, which again, you know, we've talked about this with a lot of our tequila videos. These are reused barrels. Sometimes they're keeping them very wet. Sometimes they're not very wet. Just for comparison, there's the Atanasio. The Atanasio actually, to me, looks a little bit darker. I don't know if you guys can see, but this is the Atanasio. This is the 6-year extra añejo that's called a Reposado. So 6 years versus, you know, 1 year. Well, 1 to 3, I guess I should say. All right. Well, hey, cheers, Ken. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. I'm going to give this a quick nosing, and then I'm going to let it sit and open up a little bit and check back in with the chat. It's a little bit more subdued, coming off of the Atanasio. Having trouble getting much. It's a lighter nose. It's almost fruity, almost floral. There's nice flavors, but you know, just for comparison, I mean, the Atanasio was just hitting me with so much more. Oh yeah, wow. There's just a ton more going on there. So a subdued nose. There are flavors here. I think it's, you know, I think I'm having trouble following it up, or having it follow up the Atanasio, because it's much more delicate. I can tell there's some interesting things here. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit better. I'm gonna let it sit for a second. I'll come back to it and check in, because I jumped ahead there a bit. Okay, where was I? Oh yeah, Ozito says, Fortaleza Blanco and Repo regularly at Vallarta supermarkets. That's a good point, yeah. I forget to check those all the time. Yeah, waiting for the El Tequileno Rare. It's coming up, it's coming soon. Yeah, Bevmo, at least they only put the Blanco on their online inventory, but they get the other stuff in store. They just do what they do with all the allocated bourbon now. They don't put it out, and they pretty much only give it to, you know, either they buy it themselves or they just give it to people who are paying them off, or people that they have a relationship with at this point. So Adam says, has anyone tried Vuelo? I think that's the one that I met the guy who started it when he was starting it, before he had started it. And I tried a pre-production sample of it, and it just had tons of additives. So, you know, it was drinkable. It was kind of just a typical additive tequila from what I remember. Didn't do it for me, but hey, there's a huge market for that kind of stuff. And, you know, a lot of people making money selling additive-laden tequilas, so. John says, any thoughts on the Tapatio line? Yeah, check out our drink through. We drank through the entire lineup of it. Find the video on our site. It's a great lineup. You know, to me, Tapatio used to just be the best bargain. You know, you'd get the 1 liter bottle for cheap, 20, 30 bucks, and it just was a powerhouse because it was so good. The Excelencia is one of the, still one of the best extra añejos out there. So Tapatio will probably be in our next blind series that we do, but yeah, it's great. It's a great series. It's a great product. Siyama's switching to some Tequila Ocho. You're done with the margarita, huh? Matthew wants to know if anyone's tried Booker's Apprentice batch. Don't think so. I don't think I have. Okay. Shots by Cameron says, Dutch, if you only had to drink one spirit for the rest of your life, whiskey or tequila? Ooh. That's actually not that hard. It would be whiskey. There's just so much more breadth. If you think about peated Irish or peated Scotch and American rye, or American bourbon and Japanese whiskey. I mean, you get a large spectrum of flavor there. I mean, I love tequila, but you're kind of a little bit more limited in the spectrum that you get. And if you're talking about additive-free tequilas, it's great, and it's an amazing thing to see because you're so restricted. It's like, this is what you're working with. You're working with this one plant, and you're working with the distillate of that. And if you're not using any additives, it's like all you got is the barrels and how you age them and how you process the agaves. So much of that has an influence on it. So yeah, I mean, just whiskey for the breadth that you can get. Ben says, would you say that Ocho Blanco is super drinkable? I would say that. I would definitely say that. But what I will say though is a novice or somebody that's coming to tequila for the first time, their first experience with really big agave flavors may not be very positive. It may be something that they need to ease into. And that's why I kind of feel like it depends where you're coming from. If you don't sip spirits regularly, you can kind of maybe start anywhere, I guess. But if you're coming from maybe being a little more familiar with whiskey, that's why I kind of suggest sometimes it makes sense to start more on the extra añejo or añejo side and work your way back to the blancos, because a good añejo still retains, like we talk about that agave core, you can still taste the root. You can still taste the root spirit. You can still taste that Blanco all the way through. But you have all the barrel influence, right? Which is going to be more familiar flavors to a whiskey drinker. And if you kind of acclimate yourself to the palate that way, then going to an amazing Blanco like Ocho, which I think is, the latest batch, the 2023 La Colorada, I think is the one I had. Phenomenal. 40, 50 bucks for probably one of the best Blancos on the market. And, like I said, if you're acclimated to agave, it's super drinkable. But if you're very new to it, it's just hard to tell how people are going to react to it. So good question, though. You guys chime in chat. Let me know what you guys think. Let Ben know what you guys think. Okay. Looking to do any reviews of Siembra Valles? Sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, we get asked about every brand. I mean, in the comments, somebody will request something. As long as we can keep doing this, we're going to keep doing it. And I know we're slow with our releases of reviews, but, we'll try to get to everything eventually. That's all I can say. What makes it to the top of the list is sometimes a little bit random, honestly, and maybe kind of what mood we're in at the time. But yeah, I mean, we want to do everything. So everything is on the list. Kagan C says, my starter cigar was Hemingway Short Stories. I think my gateway was really Ramon Ayona Specially Selected. And I absolutely still love that. It's just so amazing. Arte Nom, yeah, that's a good one. Arte Nom Añejo, so it's the 1146, is a very drinkable. But again, that's tons of barrel influence. So for a whiskey drinker, I think you can come into tequila through that bottle very easily, because it's like, it's not as big of a jump as going to an agave, right? So, good choice. Okay, I got to get to this tequila. Let's give it a nose. Okay, it's registering a little bit more for me now. The flavors are all kind of clustered here. There's a hint of the agave. I'm getting the tiniest bit of that kind of waxy thing that I sometimes get with certain tequilas. It's not a bad thing. I get it in some very good tequilas and tequilas I like, but it's just slightly coming through on this. All right, let's get to the palate. Cheers, guys. Ooh. A lot of spice. Very bright flavors. Wow. And a really long finish. Whoa. Finish is just going and going and going. Doesn't let up. It tastes exactly the same as when I first took the sip. Finish is incredible on this thing. Okay, I'm going to cleanse the palate and go back in here. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot of spice. It's a bit of that agave core lingering. There's a lot of like a thinned out caramel on the beginning of the palate. Spicy with that hint of the citrusy agave core. It comes together very nicely. Oh, wow, it's so interesting. You know, when I think of like rich flavors that really coat my palate, I don't tend to think of like bright flavors. Like bright flavors I always feel are a little more fleeting. But this has been able to kind of capture something really unique, which is there are these bright flavors, these bright spices, the bright agave, that kind of thinned out caramel, but it completely envelops your palate. And the finish is just incredible. So it's, you know, if I want to talk about the spectrum of extra añejo flavors that you can get, this is like you picked a point and you just kind of expanded it a little bit, and then you just kind of shot a laser that way. And it's very focused in that way. And it's executed very well. Gotta give it another sip. Yeah, it's very interesting on the flavor. Very spicy up front. The sugars really start to come in the mid palate. It's all very bright, very refreshing, very delicious. The finish is super long and just kind of gets better and better as it goes. Very enjoyable. Now, is it $200 good? I mean, it's hard to say, because I mean, I just had the Atanasio, right, which is $100, completely different experience on the palate. These flavors are all on the other side of the spectrum, so it's kind of like, what's your jam? What do you like more? Do you like that bright, fruity stuff? Do you want the more earthy, kind of savory components? So this is actually really two very interesting counterpoints here. So I am gonna put a little label on this, check back in with the chat, and then maybe do one more crack of something and then do a little recap. What do you guys think? Is there anything else I should try? My computer's making noise. I don't know why. Let's see, El Tequileno. Wow, that's some good stuff. Let me check in with the chat. Okay. Dram Chaser says, I tried Blanco tequilas and I find them flavorless. Am I missing something? Can you help me out on this? Regardless, my favorite are añejos and extra añejos. Curious what Blancos you might have tried. And, you know, if it's kind of one of the ones that we've talked about a lot here, Tequila Ocho, I think El Tesoro's Blanco is fantastic. Fortaleza, obviously. If it's Tapatio, if you tried one of those and you found it flavorless, then I don't know. That's hard because I don't think any of those are flavorless. They operate in a narrow bandwidth, if that makes sense. So think of it this way, like you're drinking the White Dog, essentially, right? If you're familiar with whiskey, if you're a whiskey drinker. And the beauty of tequila is that pure distillate can have such varying flavors based on, you know, how old the agave was, where the agave was grown, how it was processed, how it was cooked, how it was fermented, how it was distilled, obviously. But there's so much that goes into that flavor, that core flavor. And a lot of it is nuance, and it might just be maybe you need to try a couple side by side. That might help open up some of the flavors. But this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. I mean, if you're digging the añejos and the extra añejos, you're getting a lot of the barrel influence there. I'd say you can try an añejo that has a lot of agave in it, and see maybe that kind of will help you. Like G4 añejo is one that just always sticks in my head as having a lot of that agave core in it, and it might be one where you're like, oh, I can kind of see now the both sides of that. Or try a repo, right? A repo that's got a decent amount of barrel influence, and you can kind of see, okay, I can now kind of see this division of here's the agave as it's aging in a barrel, and these are the flavors that come from the barrel. These are the flavors that are in the kind of core spirit. So, good question though. Chat, chime in. Okay. Ozito says, Repo Rare was about 103 months ago in Rosarito. I'm sure it went up since. Yeah, I think the cheapest I've seen it around in San Diego is like 165. I think around there. All the flippers intercepting rarer bottles before distribution or retail is ruining the hobby to an extent. The Arete Repo is better than Fortaleza in 22, so don't succumb to FOMOs. I totally agree on that one, man. I can't rave about Arete Repo any more than I already have. I think I'm already starting to become a broken record on it. Ozito says bourbon flavor profile is way more narrow than tequila, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, if you're taking a Blanco all the way to extra añejo, tequila's got way more to work with than just bourbon. And my point more was like between Scotch. Like Scotch by itself has got such a wide range, and then add to that the range of bourbon, add to that the range of rye. Whiskey's just a broader category, right? In a lot of ways, you're talking about any grain distillate that's aged in oak, basically. So it's, I think, just for the variety, mainly. Okay, David M. Responding to somebody asked about the apprentice batch. It's a bit funky, but next pour grows on you. Kevin also says, I have the Booker's Apprentice. I like it a lot, but many whiskey tubers don't like it. We never review that stuff. I mean, we open it on some lives and stuff. I always say it's one of those where if you find it at a good price, it's almost always worth picking up because it's always pretty good whiskey. Hey, have you tried Don Julio Extra Añejo side by side with Arete Reposado? I get more agave from Don Julio. I've not tried that. That would be interesting to try though. I mean, it's kind of not really a fair comparison because I mean, it's a $20 bottle against a super expensive Extra Añejo, but I wonder how the additives play into that. That's interesting. Okay. All right. I don't know where I was. Sorry. Trying to catch up here. So about the Vuelo. Damn, I had a feeling when I tried Vuelo that was sweet. I found Fortaleza and one bottle left at my liquor store in the Hudson Valley in New York, and I couldn't believe it. Nice. Glad you were able to get one. Hopefully you didn't have to overpay too much. Siyama says, so be honest, who do you like more, Jules or Dylan? And why is it Jules? There's a movie coming out called Jules. It's about like Ben Kingsley like finds an alien in his backyard. It's like E.T. for adults or something. I don't know who I pick. See, like, obviously Jules. Come on. Okay. Oh, this is a good point. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't think of this. Anthony, obviously, thank you for chiming in here. For Dram Chaser, who was asking about Blancos, yeah, still strength really bring out a lot more of the flavors. 80 proof is tough for any spirit to deliver good flavor. Yeah, that's a great point, especially for whiskey drinkers. If you're used to high proof, yeah, grab those still strengths. They're gonna give you that. Fortal Squalera. You kill me. All right. Jap27 says, in my opinion, El Tequileno is kind of overrated as a tequila lover, but I understand it as an introducer tequila. Yeah, I think of their core lineup, this is pretty good. I mean, this is good. I understand this one. And the Sassenach Select, if you've had that one also, I think, pops. I mean, it's good. It's really good. I need to try it again. I had it at a whiskey event, ironically. and it was just great. Randall, no vodka. Octavio, when are you guys trying Cascohin? So we've done a fresh crack. If you check out some of our live streams, I know we opened up like the Tahona Blanco on one of the live streams, and I opened the show talking about the 11 bricks a bit, and we did film a review. So this is coming out soon. Soon means anywhere in the next 2 months for us. But it's been filmed. It just needs to be edited and released. So, all right. So should I recap or should I crack into something else? I feel like I should do another tequila, but I don't think I got any unopened ones over here. Let me see what I got. I've got a Cascana's new distillery, I think, number 7. So if we're going to stick with tequila, we could do that. This is, 1614. That's the new distillery. What else have I got? I got a lot of whiskeys in the random box of goodies there. I'm tying my shoe. That's why that looked weird. I've got a Siete Leguas Blanco that needs to be opened up. I haven't had this in ages, so that would be a fun one to try as well. What else do we have? A bunch of whiskeys in the whiskey box here. Benchmark Foolproof. There's a Clyde May pick. I'll tell you what, I could even put this into the whiskey box. This is the new Jack Daniel's Rye, if I really want to screw my palate up. Actually, I may save this for its own live stream. But you guys tell me. I mean, I could put that into the whiskey box. I think there's even a Knob Creek 18. Oh no, that's already open. So yeah, if you guys want more tequila, I can do one of these guys. Let me see if I might have something else unopened. Give me a second. Let me go over to the other stash over here. I think all these are open. So I think we're good. So it'll be one of the ones here. The other thing I could do is do a comparison with one of these if there's something that let's just start over here. If there's something you think I should compare that I've done already to like Fortaleza or something like that, I could do that. Grab one of these two, the Siete Leguas, the Cascana is the new Coke version. I could compare the new to the old. Should we do that? That'd be kind of cool. Or we can do the whiskey box. So I'll put a poll up. You guys can decide. And we'll say, start a poll. What should I open? I almost wrote Popin. We'll do Cascanes. Is it ES? Cascanes. And then we got Siete Leguas. And then I'll just do whiskey box as the third. Whiskey box random. And there you go. You guys can pick. Good, that worked. Let it run for a couple minutes. Oh, somebody already picked the whiskey box. I ran out of water. I'm gonna get a splash more water, and then we'll see where you guys are. Let me check in with the chat. All right, Gerald says, El Tequileno Blanco is one of my favorites. To be honest, top 5. Their other expressions, not so much. Yeah, so they have 2 lines, though, of the Blanco, right? They've got like their basic version, and they've got like the premium. I can't remember what they call either one. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. SJCS says, is Calle 23 Criollo worth it? I've never tried it. I've heard a number of people absolutely rave about it, say it's amazing. Some people say, look, it was just this fluke, and it was awesome, and it's totally amazing. You're never going to find anything like it again, which may be true. I just don't know. I didn't love the regular Calle 23. We have a bottle of the Blanco. I actually thought it had added sugars to it, honestly. It was so sweet. Trying a little trick, though, if you suspect a tequila being having sweeteners in it, if you dilute it down very low, we've talked about this in an episode before, you can actually get a little bit of bitterness from the artificial sweeteners sometimes if you add the dilution. And after trying that with the Calle 23, it didn't get that, so it is just a very, very sweet tequila naturally. So All right, what else? We got a vote for Cascanes. Looks like Cascanes is winning right now. Which Cascanes? This is the number 7. And I think, like I said, if you guys pick the Cascanes, I think I have this is the new distillery. I think I have the old one, so we could do it as a side-by-side. If I can find it, that is. And maybe I can't find it, so. Crap. I thought it was right here, but it is not. I could check for it if you guys really want to see that side-by-side. I can also just plan for that for a future live stream. But I know we have the regular number 7 somewhere. Maybe it's in this box. It is not. Well, I can check in the other room if you guys really want to see that. But okay, Randall says, Dutch, do you think you guys spend almost $50K a year on all the liquor you buy? I'm scared to do the math, honestly. I mean, no, I don't think we spend that much, actually. Yeah. There you go. Tequila, Tequileno Mixto and Grand Reserve. Side by side would be great. Well, I'll tell you what. If Cascanes wins, I will go check in the other room for the bottle of the old version. I thought it was here. There's a ridiculous number of bottles in this room, so I probably look crazy, like looking around like this, but it's just because I don't know where things end up half the time. You know, we'll be filming and we'll move stuff around, so. But I will go take a look for it if we do pick that. Oh, I do also have this bottle, I just realized, unopened. Tapatio, Blanco also. It's almost as if we were preparing for another Blanco blind. So yeah, you can write that into the chat if that's what you really want. Yeah, this is like worst live stream ever, man. I can't figure anything out today. I'm not even on camera half the time. What the hell's going on here? Okay. Side by side, the Siete Legos and Cascanes. For me, Siete Legos is better and much cheaper. That's a good option. That's a good option. All right, more votes. Oh no, one more vote for that. Weird. It's so weird. I see that message retracted on the YouTube stream, but in StreamYard the comments are still here. Funny. All right, let's see how this poll's going. Looks like Cascanes might run away with it, guys. It's been open 4 minutes. I'll let it go full 5 and then call it a day. Gerald says, see if the Legos first. All right, should we just let's just do that. Let's just do the side by side. All right, why not? I'm gonna end the poll. I'm gonna go grab 2 more glasses. I'm running out of tequila glasses. And should I do them blind? I could do them blind. Should I do them blind? You tell me. Tell me what you guys think. One-man shows are not easy. Show your absentee partner your hardships by doing solo stream. Yeah, seriously. I should make it. See, you know what, Hattori, Hanzo, you're going to be an admin. You should help me. But actually, you know what? You're going to abuse your power. Maybe you won't. But anyway, you're a moderator for now. Yeah, until you abuse it. Okay, so yeah. Should I do these as a blind? I don't know. I don't know if I know everybody loves seeing blinds. I'll pour them. You guys can tell me. I'll make another poll. It'll only run for as long as it takes me to pour this. As to whether or not I should do it blind or commentary style. All right, blind. I know everybody loves blind. Commentary. Why do I even bother with this? Did I just misspell commentary? We trust your objectivity. I do too. I mean, believe me, I've done plenty of blinds, and I get something out of them for sure, but I kind of also just like studying something and reflecting on it, knowing what it is, and I don't know. I can see both sides. That's all I'm trying to say. All right, so the Cascanes will have a green sticker with a C on it. Oh, look at that. Commentary might win. Okay, great. You guys are awesome. And then the Siete Leguas. Man, I haven't had Siete Leguas in it's such a long time. And I haven't had the new formulation of the Cascanes. Actually, no, I've had the still strength version of the new. So these are both the 80 proofers. So. All right. Is it a twist off? Maybe. Yeah, I like that. No cork. All right. So the Siete Leguas is going to be not a green sticker. Maybe I should do another color, huh? Well, it'll be a red for that one. All right, well, commentary is winning, so I guess I don't even really need to do this color-coded thing. I'll let it run for one more minute and check in. So Siyama also wants to be an admin, but he needs to be more belligerent. Tori Hanzo is now going to be abusing his power. All right, Peter says, I've never tried Cascanes, refuse to spend that much on a Blanco when there are so many more great, more affordable options. Yeah, it's certainly priced. Honestly, I think I talked about this a little bit earlier. I think it's priced where the market is going. It's a pain, and it's a lot. And I'm kind of with you. I don't know that they can really justify it on quality. It's certainly good quality, but there's also very, very good quality tequilas that are cheaper, Blancos. So, Easy says, Cascanes is probably the most influencer-pushed brand on the market. Yeah, they push it. That's for damn sure. They approached us. They wanted to send us stuff, and we said no, because that's what we do. I should have said, if you want to send us your still strength extra añejo, we'll take that, but I don't think they would have done that. Yeah, it is a premium price. I think what is the Blanco up to now? I wish I had the price sticker on that. I think it's like over 60, right? Let me see. I think I bought this at Old Town. Let me see how much I got it for. Old Town price point on the Cascanes is the number 72. Dang, yeah, it is expensive. And for reference, Siete Leguas is, you can get the Anejo for $60. The Blanco's 49. Still, reasonably priced Blanco. I mean, higher priced Blanco. Okay, you guys want commentary? You're gonna get a commentary? Good. No blind. All right, let's just compare the noses. I'll start with the Cascanes. No, I'll start with the Siete Leguas. Bright. Nice agave core there. A little bit of pepper. It just smells like a good Blanco nose. I mean, this is a Blanco, It's oh, yeah, great. Excellent. Okay. Cleanse my nose palate. I hear it's supposed to smell your arm or smell your shirt or something. It's supposed to help, rip my microphone off. All right, let's nose the Cascanes. Whoa, so funky just completely different. It's earthy, it smells like dirt. Man, there's almost like a chemical, like a glue kind of smell to it, man. Wow, it's really kind of throwing me for a loop here. Wow, it's so out there, so out there. So, I started out with the PM Spirits Blancos. So let me just do that. Let me just compare these real quick. just for, oh wait, that's the still strength. I'll compare it to the 80 proof just to see. Okay, yeah, so you have almost a progression here. If I had these three lined up, you can barely see them there in the camera there. So pure earthiness with the Cascanes, kind of the bridge between with the PM Spirits, and then the bright agave with the Siete Leguas. Yeah, the PM Spirits kind of slots right in between them. It's really interesting. But the Cascanes is such a different, man, such a different nose. So earthy. Wow. I mean, it doesn't even smell like tequila sometimes. There's just so many different flavors going on here. It's not smelling as chemically as it first did for some reason. I think that was almost the contrast was throwing me off. Very earthy. Okay, palate time. What should I do first? I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the Cascanes first. I gave the Siete Leguas the first crack on the nose. Let's see here. Oh man. It's a great mouthfeel. And the flavors are just so out there. It's really earthy. It's a good amount of sweetness. There's nothing off-putting on it. You know, I say earthy. Some people just don't like that at all. I like it. It's on that savory spectrum of flavors. Let me give it another sip. Okay. It's really interesting. Okay, so the initial palate hit, there's a sweetness underneath everything. And all the other flavors are built on that, which is actually really interesting. And the sweetness goes all the way through to the end of the finish, and it's still there. It's very, very nice. Not overly sweet, but just a good amount of sweetness. And then the earthy components kind of build on it in the beginning of the palate. By the mid palate, they've peaked, and then they start to trail off, and you're left with just the sweetness. So it's actually a very nice presentation of flavors. You know, the question here is it worth $70? I don't know. It's really expensive. But very, very intriguing flavors. Not your traditional bright agave. I mean, this is just the other end of that spectrum of agave. You know, I tend to like that bright agave. This is the dark, earthy agave. So let me get a little water here. And try the Siete Leguas. It's been a while since I've had this, so this will be fun to get back into. Oh, that nose is great. Much more traditional to me. Bright. Still got a good sweetness to it. The flavors come together in a very different way. They're clustered almost, as opposed to feeling like they're built. And so when you taste something and it hits your palate, you know, sometimes you pick up different flavors at different points of time in the tasting experience, right? That's kind of what I was talking about with the Cascanes, how it's very layered, right? And then it kind of like builds up, and then it drops back down to that base at the end. The Siete Leguas kind of all comes at you at the same time. It's almost one complete image. So it's kind of hard to pick apart the flavors. I get sweet. There's a little bit of that white pepper. There's the agave, kind of citrusy side of the agave core. The finish is great. The flavors are great. I mean, this really just feels like the two opposite ends of the spectrum. You know, earthy versus bright and fruity. I mean, there are things that are further this way that are even brighter and even fruitier, but I don't know that anything is more earthy than this Cascanes. And so I think that's kind of, I mean, it's unique, right? I can think of more things that taste like or more similar to the Siete Leguas. So if we did a blind of a bunch of common brands, the Siete Leguas would slot in. The Cascanes would stick out, and you may love that or you may hate that, honestly. So it's a little more unique. For my sipping purposes, what would I probably grab? Jeez. I'm grabbing the Siete Leguas. I prefer this kind of flavor profile. That's partly because it's hot. That's no joke. It's hot. This bright Blanco flavor profile is exactly what I love when the weather gets hot. This is it right here. This is what I want to drink all summer. Now in the wintertime, honestly, this is kind of more the flavor profile. The Cascanas is kind of more where I would go. It's earthier. It drinks almost a little bit more like a whiskey. So, you know, going back to that question about Blancos, if you encounter somebody that tastes that bright core of agave citrusy thing and they're like, I don't like that, then have them try this, because this is the other end. Like if you're, it's almost like peated scotch versus unpeated scotch in some ways, right? It's just, they're very different ends of the spectrum. You know, it's ironic because I was just talking about how the tequila spectrum maybe not as broad as scotch, but just with these two, I'm kind of reconsidering what I was saying earlier. I mean, there's a vast difference between these two. That's for damn sure. So, so this is a perfect time to go back into everything I tried before. I'm going to do the Blancos and then get back into the chat. I want to do the PM Spirits just because I'm drinking Blancos right now, and I want to kind of see where this slots in, if it's still right in the middle on flavor too. Let me cleanse the palate a little bit. More pepper up front. Wow, it gets almost effervescent. It tastes like 7-Up. Like, wow, hang on. Wow. Oh, this is the still strength. Okay, no wonder. I'm like, wow, that thing is blowing the other ones out of the water. Okay, sorry about that. So the still strength, it's the next level to both of these. I mean, really, this still strength PM Spirits, really good. So same price here, right? Let me get this in shot, sorry. The still strength PM Spirits, $75. Cascanas Blanco, the new formulation, the new distillery, at, you know, a place that's usually in line with, you know, base prices. I think 72 bucks I said, so. But I mean, the proof hit on the still strength is just, it just intensifies everything. Okay, so the regular PM Spirits Blanco, for comparison, now that my palate's blown out, it's kind of in between the two. I don't know, the still strength just kind of blew my Blanco palate out, I think. I mean, it's just so much better. It's just next level. You know, all these are great flavor-wise. They're all interesting in their own right. You know, which one would I recommend the most? It's hard not to recommend the Siete Leguas just on the price alone. It's the cheapest of these, and it easily holds its own against them. I saw a comment, Siama was saying, include the 11 bricks in my recap, which I opened my tasting with. There's not really any left, so I'll pour a touch more just because that will be interesting. Just one sip here of it. Cleanse the palate a little bit more. Yeah, I had it in a Glencairn, I don't know why. Where does this nose slot in? It's a little more earthy than the Siete Leguas. I could take either one of these. I mean, this is a, remember, I think we paid like 300 bucks for this bottle. All right, palate. Okay, I get this now. There's like a fruit leather component in this that wasn't coming through before. Given the context, it stands out a bit, but I mean, not $300 worth. It's unique, it's tasty. It's a little bit bitter compared to the other ones. it's not as well balanced either. You know, the flavors are not as complementary as pretty much any of the other ones that I just had. So, I hate to say that. I know there's a lot of fanboys of that bottle, but it's just not for me. Okay, so these were the Blancos from tonight. Let me clear a little space for myself over here. Got so many glasses. So of the Blancos, I think it's hard. I don't know if I can fit them all on here. This is watch Dutch break all the Blancos bottles. I mean, price alone, Siete Leguas is probably the best bang for the buck for sure. You know, if you want a very unique experience, the Cascanas definitely offers that. It's really well made. It's really tasty. It's really unique, and definitely worth trying. I mean, if you're really nerding out on tequila and Blancos, you got to get a bottle. You got to get a bottle just to try it, or just try it, I guess, at a bar. If you like any of the more earthy tequilas, you're gonna love it. It's really good. The flavors work well together. It's constructed in such an interesting way. I mean, it's not constructed. It's distilled. It's the way the flavors hit the palate. It just makes sense. It's kind of elegant in its expression. The PM Spirits one, I don't know that I could justify the regular Blanco just based on price and the fact that it's only 700 milliliters. You're getting less liquid. The still strength is really good, and it's not crazy expensive. 70 something bucks we said, I think, at the beginning. Yeah, of the Blancos, maybe that's the pick of the night. I don't know, but it's hard to beat the Siete Leguas, just cheaper. So, all right, that's the Blancos. Let's get into the aged ones that I drank tonight, which were the El Tequileno Reposado Rare, which again is a 6-year-old, truly an extra Anejo, but cannot be labeled that because of the barrels used. And then Atanasio Anejo, which ironically is the old distillery where Cascanas was made. Atanasio, $15.99 NOM. So let me check in with the chat, and then I'll taste both of those again, and we'll chat a bit about them. Okay, good. Not a lot of comments for me to respond to. So yeah, you guys are talking about the price of Cascanas. Tori Hanzo says we should accept the freebies and do a segment called Sellout Saturdays where you give 100 scores. Yeah, that'd be kind of funny actually, but that would kill the free samples pretty quickly if we just did that with all of them and didn't take it seriously. I like it though. Gerald says when you're done with it, compare. Would love to see how the Siete Blanco would have finished for you in your CP Blanco challenge. Understood, going by memory. So going by memory, I don't think it would beat the Ocho. Of course, you never know until you do them. So I mean, I could eat my words on that. I just don't think it's as bright, and I don't think the flavors are quite as bold. I mean, it's really good on all those. I also recall really loving the El Tesoro, and I recall being very close on those. And I drink El Tesoro Blanco a lot, so I'm very familiar with it. It's kind of on par with that, so I could see it finishing second. I could see it finishing third. If I'm remembering correctly, I think Fortaleza was third for me. And that's kind of a what mood am I in thing. If I'm in the mood for that Fortaleza flavor profile, maybe it bumps it up above Siete Leguas, but it would be, yeah, I mean, I think it would be, I mean, we had 5 of them, so it would be anywhere from second to fourth, I'm saying, but yeah, I think the highest it would rank would be second. I could see that happening. In a blind, you know, who knows? I mean, with a particular batch of Ocho, maybe it's even better. I mean, it's really tough to tell. And in those blinds too, I mean, there's only so much time we can take with them and only so much palate cleansing you can do. Finishes run into each other. Tasting things side by side gives you a different experience than tasting them in a vacuum by themselves. Where would it score is another good question. Our highest scoring Blanco is still that G4 Madeira at an 89, which I don't know if Blanco can get higher than that. I mean, that's one of the shortcomings of our system maybe, but it's good. I mean, it could be as high as an 80. It could be a gold. It could be a really high silver. It's nothing to complain about with it. So it's good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so Jap27 says, I prefer Siete as well. Siama says, Siete Leguas is all white sugar, agave, and pepper. Yeah, include the 11 bricks, which I did. Gerald says, PM Spirits, very delicious still strength Blanco, in my opinion. To be honest, I don't have a vast experience with still strength Blancos, only a handful. Yeah, I think it's great. It's super flavorful. And that's going to be another one of the blind challenges that we're going to do is still strength Blancos. Not all of the brands in our original lineup had still strengths. I think everything except El Tesoro has one. Does El Tesoro even have one? I don't think they do. At least not a regular release one. And Ocho doesn't have a regular release one. They've got the Puntas, which I haven't been able to find. If they release the Puntas again and I can get it, and we can get it, we'll include that. But that's kind of become another one of those tequila unicorns. You know, I've looked for that one for a while. Okay. Yeah, Peter, I agree. The Sassenach, really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, so just for recap again, the last two here, the aged ones, the Atanasio and the El Tequileno. So overall, you know, just reflecting on them as I had them earlier, my money's kind of on the Atanasio here. I mean, the Reposado Rare is really good. It's really well put together. And maybe as it's opened up here for, you know, 40 minutes, something like that, it'll really shine. It did shine. It's very good. Where would it slot in with an extra Anejo blind? I think it'd do pretty well. I mean, the finish is incredible. The flavors are really, it's a really interesting execution. The Atanasio, let's give it another taste. I mean, it was earthier. It was on kind of another end of the spectrum. Oh, the nose is so gorgeous on this. So again, I'm drinking this one right now, the Atanasio. That's what my hand resting on it means. Oh, this is the better nose, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it's just so much richer. It kind of just blows the El Tequileno away. Blows my palate out for the El Tequileno. If I didn't have, I shouldn't have nosed it first. If I didn't have that, this smells fine. It smells good. Let me try to cleanse my nose. Let me see if I can go back in. El Tequileno. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's not a powerhouse on the nose. I mean, this Atanasio is just, oh man, there's just everything going on here. There's brown sugar, there's baking spice. It kind of has a whiskey nose. I mean, oh, and there's that earthier side of the agave that still comes through. More of the bright agave comes through on the El Tequileno. Very enjoyable. Both of these. But Atanasio, palate first. No, maybe I should go the other way, since before I had the Atanasio first when I tasted them initially. So let's try the El Tequileno Reposado Rare, this one. It's really spicy. Really spicy. I mean, it's really an execution on spice. I mean, peppery. I'll give it a second sip. I mean, more comes through on the second sip. There's a foundation of sweetness there that's really nice, agave sweetness. The pepper's not quite as intense on the second sip. The finish is great. It's long. Honestly, it's just kind of fruitier, floral aspects coming through. It's really nice. So, you know, we talk about this sometimes with delicate flavors versus bold flavors. This is kind of that. I mean, the El Tequileno is one. Honestly, you kind of need to have it just by itself. I feel like it would do really bad in a blind. I could see that happening. There's really good flavors here though, and they're very pleasant. The sweetness is great. The finish is it just lingers and lingers and lingers. But again, it's on that more floral, lighter flavor side. All right, cleanse the palate a little bit, and I'll do the Atanasio to close things out. Oh, this nose is just so good. There's something in this. And I talked about this the first time I nosed it. I can't place, but I love it. Oh, man. All right, sip. Okay, interesting. Having it after the El Tequileno tastes a little bit less rich for some reason. It's so weird. Like when I visualize flavors, when I'm tasting things in order to kind of like talk about them, I kind of visualize them sometimes. This won't make any sense to anybody, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like the El Tequileno flavors are all over here. The Atanasio flavors are all like here. You know, it's the El Tequileno is very focused and it's here. It's like to the right side of me. The Atanasio's starts in the middle and it kind of envelops this whole left side of my palate, and it's just, it covers more ground. Oh, man. Yeah, ultimately, I would probably gravitate towards Atanasio. It's cheaper. You're getting an amazing flavor experience with it. This would appeal to whiskey drinkers. There's not a ton of bright agave coming through. The El Tequileno has more of that, which is really nice in something that's 6 years old. Both of them are great. I mean, if you can get the Repo Rare closer to the 165, 180 range, it's a good bottle. I mean, I don't think you're going to feel let down. May not blow you away though, when there's things like, you know, all the other extra añejos. Again, we have the extra añejo blind coming. I don't want to give anything away from that, so I won't. But just, you know, watch that when it comes out. But at $100, Atanasio is kind of steep, but man, it is full of flavor. I mean, I think in an añejo blind, this is going to be hard to beat. I mean, we may have to put this into the next round of blinds, the whole lineup of Atanasio, because man, this one is really impressing me. So, all right, guys, I'm going to check back in with chat one last time here, and then I'm going to call it a night. And maybe you guys should too, especially if you're on the East Coast, man. It's late, isn't it? What time is it here? 7, so it's like 11. It's almost midnight for you. 11:45. Not a ton of comments here, good, so I'll be quick. DeWalt says, I found when you ask a rep at a booze event if their tequila has additives, they don't know what you're talking about. That's very true. I've been to some tequila events with our good friend Dr. Roju, and he can be kind of blunt sometimes. And we walked into a liquor store, and they were doing a tasting of something, you know, some whatever brand with additives or whatever, and the lady was telling him, oh, it's distilled 5 times, and you know, he just looked her straight in the face and said, that means it's bad. I don't like my tequila distilled that many times. Just, I'm like, dude, I love you, man. That's great. Gerald says, thanks for this live, Dutch, especially appreciated as the prices for quality tequilas continue to rise. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep doing a lot of tequila content. I mean, I know we have a lot of fans that just only drink whiskey, and we love whiskey. We're going to obviously continue to do whiskey. It's probably still going to be a majority of our stuff, but you know, we're doing more and more tequila stuff just because there's a real hunger out there for more content on tequila. So expect a bit more of it, maybe. In the long run, I hope we can just get more content in general out, in which case everybody will be happy. But yeah, there's not a ton of tequila tube yet, so it's kind of a fun little space to be in. Kagan C says, brushed over El Tequileno Rare on the Tequila Matchmaker app, and honestly seems like something I would enjoy. Are you getting any maple or banana pie notes? Let me see. I have only one little sip left, but I'll do it to tell you. Maple? Maybe there's a touch of maple. Again, it's delicate flavors. It's not the best one to evaluate on a night where I've had 6 bottles to try. So take it with a grain of salt. Yeah, there could be some maple, some of that sweetness. I think I described it as a thinned out caramel at the beginning. I don't get any banana. Don't really get maple. The sweetness it's more citrusy sweetness to me, honestly. So, I don't know. I mean, Tequila Matchmaker, the community reviews, you take them with a grain of salt. That's all I can say. Oh, banana bread. Okay, yeah. No, I don't get any banana. I don't get any banana. So Tony says, of course you guys now got to do an Atanasio drink through. I know, seriously. I did get the Blanco as well. I got to go back and get the Repo. I don't know if they make an extra, but man, I'm picking it up if they do, that's for sure. Yeah, this would be a great one because this is a brand I don't think a lot of people pay attention to. You know, it's priced a little high and just doesn't have the notoriety of a lot of other brands. But man, there's no reason people should be chasing. If you want a replacement for Fortaleza, here you go. It's priced about the same, but you can actually find it. At least I can find it. Really good, really good. Yeah, Peter, I agree as well. Hattori Hanzo says, "Watch The Boys. Season 4 is about here." Yes. You can't tell me when to go to bed. That's true, but I can tell you when the stream is going to end. That's all I can do. That's the only thing I got. Peter says, thoughts on Volcan de mi Tierra. I enjoy the Blanco, which is a blend of Highland and Lowland. The extra Anejo is great too. I have not had it. Let me actually Google it. That's what I did before because sometimes with tequilas I recognize the bottle before I recognize the name. De mi Tierra. Let's see if I recognize this. I do recognize. Wait, Volcan. Oh, they've changed their bottle, right? Is this the one I'm thinking of? I think I have had this. Maybe not. No. I don't have any distinct memory of it, but the bottle looks really familiar, like I've had it before. Interesting that it's a blend. Roy's back. Roy, did you have more of the Tears of Llorona? Yeah, they did change the bottle. Okay. Kagan Key, you're welcome. Good night to you as well. Have a good one, guys. Siyama says, from your comments, sounds like Cascanes is a replacement for Fortaleza. You're just giving me a good idea for a video, that's all. Which would be like, you know, some of these tequilas that are more on that earthy side, like Fortaleza, like the Atanasio, the new distillery of Cascanes. I mean, there's other brands too that hit that earthy flavor profile. I personally would maybe say the Atanasio. I think it's a little bit cheaper right now than the Cascanes. It doesn't have quite as much heat behind it, and maybe on par, if better, maybe a little. So, yeah. I mean, I would say that if you can find the Atanasio, give it a try, man. I mean, I haven't tried the Blanco yet, so you know we'll save that for another show. But it's really good. Amy Bohm in the house. Thanks for stopping by. Cheers to you. We're just winding down. We didn't do any whiskey today, Amy. All tequila. As you can tell, I'm already slurring my words, so that's the effect of the tequila. Don't judge my spelling of a form. Don't judge my pronunciation of anything, because you know Scotch is a foreign language to me. So is tequila, and so is Japanese whiskey. Peter Acosta says, let's do a Repo, Anejo, XA, and cigar pairing. Wow, yeah, that'd be interesting. I've discovered more and more that I'm just bad with cigar pairings because I used to always try to drink alcohol with cigars, you know, thinking it would accentuate it. But I don't anymore. I tend to just drink like mineral water with it or coffee, depending on what time of day. And yeah, I don't feel like, for me at least, I don't feel like the cigar adds to the whiskey or tequila, and I don't feel like the tequila or whiskey adds to the cigar or the rum. Sometimes rum I do like with it. It's not that I don't like drinking with cigars. I've done that many times. I still do that. I just don't. I have trouble with the like how one is helping or hurting the other. I guess I don't know. They just operate different parts of my brain for some reason. Tori Hanzo, yeah, commissions. There's a writer strike. So if you want a percentage of what we make on a video, I don't think I can write a check for that little, but I will if you really want it. It's okay. I'll send you quarters in the mail. How about that? But yeah, totally. You get commission on that one if we make it. Yeah. Wigmaster says cheers. Grabbed a Starlight pick today, and it's weird, almost dickily. I have never had Starlight. I know it's like a East Coast, people rave about it. I've never tried one of them. Happy to try one, but never tried one. So it's a mystery to me. They do their own distilling as well there, right? I believe. So be great to try. I mean, there's so much interesting craft whiskey to try these days that I can't keep up anymore, you know. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to be killing the stream here, and it's really great to have hung out with all of you tonight. And, oh, Kagan, go to Whiskey House and Gaslamp. They have a good pick. Oh, they do? Okay, great. I will do that sometime. I haven't been down there in ages. I used to go pretty regularly. They had the ribeye, like, happy hour special. It was like $7 or something like that. I used to go there all the time for that. I don't know if they still do that. I got to go back. Starlight is grained to glass. Only had one, and it was pretty good. Tori Hanzo says, you will have to sample me some. All right, cool. Well, somebody can send me some Starlight. Oh, we were talking about this bottle earlier. And this is purely coincidence. I happened to look over. Somebody was asking about Foursquare 2010. It is open, which means we did do a fresh crack of it. So there you go. And despite what Hattori Hanzo said, I don't think I'll be ending the night with Foursquare. Or will I? You know, maybe just a splash. Maybe just a splash. I have a Glencairn over here that had tequila in it. What could go wrong? I'll rinse it out with some water, you know. Just to close things out here, because there's 7 minutes until I hit the 2-hour mark officially, so that means I owe you guys one more, right? Something like that. Okay, that's clean, right? Maybe I'll really clean it with the paper towel there. Okay, we get so many questions. Oh my gosh, did Cheech just show up? He did. Awesome. Wow, you guys are showing up at the end of the stream, making me drink more. So cracking the Foursquare 2010. I wasn't planning to do this. You guys put it up. Hattori Hanzo planted the seed early that I would end the stream getting hammered off of Foursquare, which I guess is going to happen. Yeah, 7 Whiskey Tube channels on tonight. Yeah, I know other people were on. And yeah, Whiskey Tube when we're doing tequila all night and ending with rum. Not a single whiskey had all night, believe it or not. So the 2010 is ex-bourbon cask, 12-year-old, pot and column still. I mean, I basically don't feel like reviewing Foursquare anymore because they're all good. They're all good. They're all varying degrees of good. And if you're looking to spend around $100 on a rum, you're not going to go, I mean, you're not going to feel bad about any of the Foursquares. So we get tons of questions about it, and I kind of get overwhelmed and blow it out of proportion in my head. Oh, Prescription Bourbon's in the house as well. Everybody's showing up here at the last 5 minutes of the stream to see me, you know, get wasted off of Foursquare. Again, 120 proof rum. It's some of the most flavorful spirit experience you can have, as far as I can already smell it from over here, despite how bad my nose is. Oh man. Oh. I mean, switching gears from tequila to rum is interesting. I've never done this before. Oh man. It's yeah, it's everything you want in a rum. Get all the tropical fruits. There's pineapple, mango, passion fruit. Oh. There's brown sugar, cinnamon. Richie Z is here as well. What the, dude, where are you guys all coming from? Somebody else's better stream must have just ended. That's all I can tell. Or it's just that we were doing tequila tonight and all the whiskey guys are like, I don't want to see any tequila. I don't want to see any rum. But that's all it was tonight. You know, sometimes you got to do things a little differently. Oh man, molasses, tropical fruits, brown sugar, cinnamon, hint of banana. I never get a lot of banana on the nose, I've realized that. You know, people talk about Jack Daniels and banana, and just never a note I've gotten on Jack. I get tons of maple, but I never get banana. I'm convinced it's because, I mean, I grew up drinking log cabin, right? Which is not really maple syrup, right? Like it's fake maple syrup. And if you've ever had like real maple syrup, which I had later in life, it doesn't really taste like that. It tastes like Jack Daniels. Like I get that distinct maple hit. And I feel like it's like an association thing of like associating like artificial maple flavoring with banana or something like that. Anyway, boring conversation anyway. Okay, Foursquare 2010, should you buy it? Yeah, Gerald, I cracked it. I saw it sitting over there. It was actually already open, so this isn't even a fresh crack. I'm breaking all the rules, but Hattori Hanzo, planted the seed of me closing out the night with Foursquare, so that's what's happening on. That's what's happening now. Oh man. Oh, by the way, Hattori Hanzo. I gotta say, I always thought the name was from Samurai Showdown, not from Kill Bill. But I guess I'm wrong on that. Did I remember you saying something about that? Because Samurai Showdown was a great video game back in the day. Oh man, I could just sit here nosing this forever. It's so good. Okay, I should try it, huh? Whoa. Okay. Oh man, I don't have any water even, so I just got to power through this one. Whew. Sometimes you forget how proofy this stuff is. Okay, one more sip. Okay. Starting to come back to me. The reason I didn't like this one quite as much as the 08 or the 07 was that the spice and proof hit you at the front of the palate a little bit harder from what I recall. And you can get a little bit more oak in the mid palate, but like that might be good, might be better to some people. For me, it kind of doesn't jibe with the other flavors for some reason. But it's great. I mean, this is any whiskey drinker will love to try this. They'll love it. I mean, all of these amazing molasses and cinnamon and oaky things coming through. It's just gorgeous. Then you can find it, which is great, and it's not marked up. Yeah, that's fantastic. So I get a lot of that proof hit up front, more so than what I remember from the 08 or the 07. And I think that's why when we did our live stream fresh crack of this, I think Jules was with me for that. I can't even talk now. It's like the proof is just, I don't know. Yeah. Ugh. I think because we realized it was maybe a half a step below those that we didn't want to do a review of it because, it's still great. It's probably going to score in the 80s. It's really, really good. All of them are. All the Foursquares are great. It's just they're variations on a theme for the most part. I mean, the only one that kind of struck us that we didn't like as much as a lot of the other ones was the Shibboleth. It was just a little bit too much oak. And again, if you love the oak hit in a whiskey, Shibboleth might be the one you want to buy. So, all right, guys. Well, now that everything's picked up here, I'm going to be ending the stream. But thank you guys for coming. Looks like somebody else doing a stream. Big Vic, you doing a stream? Looks like it. In 20 minutes. All right. We'll check in with the comments here before I shut things down. Yeah, Richie Z is here. Prescription Bourbon. Amy Boehm. Of course, Cheech. Richie Z says, Dutch, this is my first whiskey tube tonight. Was busy laundering and sleeping. I'll pour some 2008 Foursquare for a nightcap. Nice. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming to hang out. Like I said, the night was not whiskey tube for us. It was tequila tube and rum tube for us, for me. The guys didn't show up. Hattori Hanzo, I agree. Foursquare is so good that it's boring. The banana note is typically a runts candy artificial banana flavor, at least for me. Oh, yeah, got it. Travis says, never heard it put that way before. Next time I'm in a JD, got to think that way. Yeah, it's funny. I've talked to Jules and Dylan about it a lot because none of us really get that, and I don't know if it's just because. I mean, we've spent a lot of time really exploring flavors, I think, and we all associate maple with it more than banana, for sure. Maybe Jules has said banana before, but I think he kind of always says that. But yeah, it's actually something where I've gone so far in my head where I'm like, I almost want to test it. Like I almost want to get like some maple flakes and some banana flavoring and kind of just see like, let's nose them and see how it stacks up with Jack Daniels. Could be interesting. Hattori Hanzo says, the man from Okinawa from Kill Bill, but the name is also on Samurai. Yeah, I just remember Samurai Showdown. So, and one of my friends in high school's last name was Hattori, so I was like, I always remember it from the video game because we used to say it because his name was Hattori. Okay, yeah. Let me see, anything else? Oh, Cohen is here as well. Everybody's coming at the end of the stream, like I said. They all be good, but 2008 is the best of the vintage, all ex-bourbon casks. Yeah, there you go. They're all good. That's my problem with Foursquares. They're all really good. All right, Hattori Hanzo says, arigato, Dutch son, for the Foursquare revisit. It feels nostalgic. Don't know what's going on. Amy says, yeah, where the heck are Sir Dylan and Missing Valley Jewels? Yeah. Yeah, everybody's busy, man. This summer's turned out to be busy, man. And those guys, Jules has been super busy, so he's just, we can't get him to do anything. Jeff Perkins says, Richie Z, I cracked one open the other day and have one left in the bunker that I'm planning on saving for a while. How can we convince Margaret? Yeah, I tried to. He was out of town. And I mentioned this at the start of the stream. We might try to do an on-location stream next weekend. Maybe Friday, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, I don't know. We are going to be potentially filming some more stuff in Vegas. I don't know yet. Don't know if we're going to end up filming because we may just end up doing other stuff. Yeah, so, 2 hours in, I'm done. I'm toasted on all the tequila and the Foursquare that Hattori Hanzo made me drink. So I hope you guys have a great night. I'm going to close things out with Hattori Hanzo's comment that Jules is a gigolo. I'm thinking of the David Lee Roth song now, and I'm picturing Jules singing it, which is hilarious. So on that note, guys, hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. I was going to say stay sober, but I'm not sure I'm going to say that because I don't really want you guys to do that. Have a great weekend. Stay cool if it's hot where you are. It's hot here. And yeah, next week there probably will not be a live stream. If I can squeeze one in early in the week, it might happen. It's unlikely. Like I said, next weekend there's a possibility for one live from on location. And then the following week I will try to get back into the game because there's a bunch of bottles we need to open. I showed you guys the Jack Daniels barrel proof rye that we got to crack into and compare it to the old one. So maybe we'll do that. Tons of whiskey to crack into. Next time we'll do whiskey. I've got the Parker's Heritage 16 year to crack into, or not 16 years, it's the 16th one. It's like a 13 year, I think. Bunch of other whiskeys to crack into. So yeah, all right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay curious.